I would like to get to know if you could be the kind of girl that you took me down for. 'Cause when I look at you, I feel something tell.
And welcome back to my next video. So I was originally going to do a video about my weight loss journey. However, after recording my first video and starting the editing process and just a few other things that's currently going on in my life, I kind of decided I actually wanted to do a video about imposter syndrome and staying stuck with moving forward, and how sometimes we are our biggest opposition in terms of getting what we want and making the progress that we want. So, outside of my 9 to 5 as a healthcare case manager, I do events. So, imposter syndrome for me has always shown up as a voice in my head that's like, it's going to fail. You can't do it. And I've listened to it for many, many years. And it's kind of stopped a lot of things from progressing as fast as it should. Not only has it done that, it's kept me in situations that I've outgrown because I just deep down felt as if I couldn't elevate past that, or I couldn't really do any better. Yeah, I hate to say it, but like I didn't think higher enough of myself. And so the past couple years have really been a not a challenge, but it's been a thing for me to unlearn those things and, frame better concepts of myself and get a little more courage, a little more confidence to do the things that I want. I'm planning my first event in about 8 months. I had an event planned earlier this year, but if you are familiar with the wildfires that happened in California, um, at the very beginning of the year, it just didn't feel appropriate to have social events at that time. So I had canceled it. And there was honestly a sigh of relief when I canceled it, because it was like, oh, well, the opportunity for the event to fail won't present itself. So, all right, we're just done with that. And then I just kind of left the events alone. My social media went pretty dry. I just really wasn't doing anything about it until the last month or so. And I think the kick that I needed was pretty much, I got to the realization of, you're never going to know if you can do something until you try it and give an honest effort. Um, so many things I've just kind of, I'll try it and then I either don't remain consistent or I just let it fall to the wayside, which is also not being consistent. And mainly one of the biggest reasons is because of that voice of like, who do you think you are? Like, what is it that you think you can do? Oh, you think you can have this successful sold out business? Oh, you think you have the skills to have this high paying job? Oh, you think you deserve a boyfriend who's going to treat you better? Like, this is probably the best that you can do. So you should probably just, stick around and see if it gets better. Um, those were the thoughts that were in like the very back of my head, which is what kept me in unhealthy thinking spaces for a long time. And it wasn't until recently, again, where I finally said, you know what? To hell with it. Like, I'm going to put my energy into the things that I want, and I'm coming for the things that I want, and I'm going to make it happen. And if it fails, it doesn't necessarily even mean that it's the end of the failure. It just means it's the end of doing it that way. Now you go back to the drawing board and you try something another way, which I think that's one of the biggest things with imposter syndrome for a lot of people. It's like, well, what if I fail? And failing is not the worst thing in the world. I know for me growing up, and even maybe in my early 20s, I was under the impression that if you tried a business and it failed, pretty much your life was over. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if maybe it was like, the media, TV and stuff. I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm at a point, and I don't know if it's because, I'm a lot closer to 40 than I am to 25 or even 30. So I'm kind of looking at my life and saying, you know what, 20 years from now, I'd rather look back and say, you know what, I'm glad I did it. And maybe I didn't get as successful as I wanted to. Maybe it wasn't as big, but I tried, I went for it, versus, man, my time passed and I'll never know what could have happened. I'm in a state right now where I'm like, I don't want to wonder what if, with a lot of things. And so I'm finding it in me to really just take that leap of faith. And another thing that I've noticed with my imposter syndrome is, and this is also something that I've heard from other people, but it's like if you feel like what you're doing, if it doesn't look perfect, if it's not 100% right, you can't do it. And that is such a real feeling. I was editing my video and my first YouTube video, I was so tempted to delete it because it was like, wait, my, you know, my face doesn't look great. So I was like, maybe I should go look for a camera, figure something else out, and just re record the video. And I had to snap myself out of it. Some of my favorite YouTubers, they've been doing this for at least 4 to 5 years. And I find time when I go back and I catch one of their earlier videos from like 3 years ago. And the quality doesn't look bad. They don't look bad, but there is clearly an improvement from where they were 3 to 4 years ago to now. And I think when you're starting on your journey, your audience is supposed to see the improvement. For example, I'm pretty sure Beyonce looks back at, her first tour, and while we were amazed by it because it was like, wow, oh, she's going to be a star. She probably looks back and is like, oh, there's so many things that I could have done differently. But that's just, everyone is going to improve. Even when you come in excellent, there's still going to be that room to climb. So if you're waiting for things to look perfect, for you to be perfect, realistically, you shouldn't do that because I think it also shows a little more authenticity in your progression. So, few months from now, I will more than likely upgrade the camera and it'll be like, oh, okay, I'm liking the way I look a little bit more. I'm a little more comfortable. I'm not talking as slow. My speech has naturally, I'm speaking faster. I'm speaking more confidently. So those are the changes that will come naturally. And if I wait to where I feel like I look perfect, I have the, $1,000 equipment. At that time, as soon as I get all that, guess what? There's going to be another roadblock that I'm going to be like, well, let me wait for, let me wait. And it just doesn't make sense. If you're waiting for the moment to be perfect, this is also something to keep in mind. If you're waiting for the moment to be perfect, someone else who may not even have everything that you have right now is going to come in and they're going to take your spot. And to an extent, your spot is meant for you, so it can't truly be taken, but they're going to come in again. They're not going to have everything that you have. They are going to be their own person. They're going to be in their own lane. But you're going to look at them and say, wow, they had maybe half of what I had, maybe didn't have, the best camera or, you know, whatever other example you want to use, maybe for a business idea, and they're doing it. And you're like, man, okay, well, now there is somebody else that is somewhat in my lane that I could have been doing what I was doing while they were doing what they're doing. So while you are procrastinating and letting imposter syndrome hold you back, there's somebody else out there that's like, nope, the time is now. And I think that's very important. Doing events over the years, I've seen so many people have similar ideas to me. Obviously, we're different people, so the way we would execute certain things would obviously be different, but they had a similar idea. And while I'm sitting here like, oh, I don't know, nervous, or, not really moving or letting other excuses hold me back, they're making it happen. And I can't say anything negative about them. Kudos to them, because that's what you're supposed to do. And there's so many areas of life where it's like, if you wait for the perfect moment, you're always going to be waiting. I had a friend, well, we're still friends, but she started a brunch group. She had an idea saying, I should actually start like a brunch group for women. I'm going to start one. 2 months later, she had a brunch group started. And now 6 years later, there's like 70 chapters all across the US and even some international. I've noticed that with her with like several avenues. She was like, I think I want to start like a content studio. A month later, she has a space. She's decorating one of the prettiest content spaces in Las Vegas. There's been other business ideas or just ideas in general. Like when she has the idea, she may not have everything she needs, but she's just kind of like, if I have an inch, I'm about to go make a mile. And that is the tenacity that a lot of us, myself included, that I need to embrace fully. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm really stepping out on faith and I'm like, you know what? No. I always wanted my own YouTube channel. I wanted to create content because I feel like I have an authentic story to tell, and I'm holding me back. So, yes, I started 4 years ago and I only did a couple of videos, but we're going to run it back. We're going to do it again, and we're going to be consistent this time. I've always wanted to do events. I'm going to do events. And even right now, with my upcoming event in 3 weeks, I'm also planning the next one that's going to take place next month. So I'm like, no, all the things that I've said I've wanted to do, I'm going to start doing it. And then also, I can admit, full transparency, I am motivated by money. I've really thought about my life over the last like year or two, moving in with my brother. Money has not been a stressor to me. And that has been like a huge weight off my shoulder. Now, of course, I'm not going to live with my brother forever. The plan is within the next 2 years or so to definitely move back out on my own. So I'm also in a space of like, I need to be doing what I need to do to get my streams of income up. So that when it's time for me to move out, I can live where I want to live. I can continue to have the life that I have, and money not be an immediate, like, oh my God, am I spending too much? What am I doing? Obviously, I'll be on a budget. I mean, I'd love to be a millionaire, but that's not the immediate goal. Um, so I'm working right now. I'm doing stuff to set me up for the future. So I'm pushing past the imposter syndrome, the scare, the fear, and I'm like, think about yourself 2 to 3 years from now when you're able to go trade in your car and you can get damn near anything you want. When it's time for you to move, you can decorate your place the way you want. You can move wherever you want. And I know a lot of people aren't like, money, they don't really like to talk about money, or they're like, oh, it's not a big deal. I don't really need that much. I need that much. And I've also, as I've started saying that not hard truth, that truth about myself, that has kind of put some motivation and a little discipline for me to be like, hey, guess what? You want this, you have to do that. You want the finer things, you have to work hard for it. I don't come from a rich family, so I don't think I'm going to have a relative that's going to leave me a big inheritance. I mean, marrying for money, running across, a millionaire, that'd be nice, but realistically, no, not, not likely. Not impossible, but not likely. And that's okay. So that leaves me needing to get my ass up and work. um, yeah, I have to put in the work and I have to push past that self doubt because I have a certain life that I want to live. I have a way that I want it to look. And I don't want to end up downgrading in several areas of my life because I was scared to try. No, that used to work for me. That used to be okay for me. Today, it's not. It really is. So, yeah, I just implore you to take some time and figure out if there are some things that you really have been wanting to pursue and you feel like it's holding you back because you could fail, but it's not the end of the world. You could start something and it's like, oh man, it's not that great, but you keep going at it, and 3 to 6 months, it's beyond your wildest dream. So I leave this video off with just saying, start whatever you're going to start. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. The talent and skill for whatever it is that you have or what you want to do, it will come. And yeah, just stop being scared of, taking a chance because that you taking that chance can open up new doors for yourself in so many ways. It can expose you to new people who can point you in the direction to the better opportunities or the resources that maybe you lack. So, yeah, don't sell yourself short. Don't let that voice in your head make you feel like you're not good enough because that's all it is. It's a voice. It's self-doubt, and develop a voice that counteracts that negative voice. Oh, you'll never be good enough to do this. Develop a voice that says, well, what if you are good enough to do it? It'll be a lot of work, but we think you can do it. I think you can do it. So, yeah, I think it's worth it to just take the leap of faith and not let self doubt hinder you because on the other side of that, it's a whole new realm of possibilities. And there's a lot of people who are a lot further than you who have probably not as much skill, not as many resources, but what they do have is belief in themselves. And because they have the belief in themselves, they are going to continue to go far and further and the furthest. Yeah. So that's my daily chat. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe to this channel, and yeah, I'll see you at the next video.